Hi everyone, good morning. This is Ida of Created to Create. Welcome back to my channel. I have a project share and a tutorial. I was requested to, if I could make a tutorial on putting together the Susan Tierney Spellbinders poinsettia. And she does have a video out on it, and I did link it before, but I'm going to go ahead and show you how I do it. So this is the die that I'm talking about, and it is by Spellbinders, Susan Tierney, and this one is the poinsettia, and there is a number right there, but I will link it in the description box. Now, this die comes with a bigger poinsettia, then it comes with a smaller one, and they have numbers on them. So the big one you cut out twice, it's got a 2 and an X, which means cut it out 2 times. And then the small one has a 1 and an X, which means you only need 1. But in the bigger one, you would want to cut an extra one for the leaves on the poinsettia. And the single individual leaves, you can cut them out as much as you want. Those are just to fill in wherever you feel it needs a petal, so, or a leaf. So you can do them in the color of your poinsettia or in the color of your leaves. And then you have the stamen here that you put together. So I already pre-did some, and I used a couple of dies from her collection. And the other one that I used, it's this one. It's called Winterberries. So you get the mistletoe, you get the larger branch, and then the small one, and then you get the winterberry in the larger and a small one. So you only need one of each. Then you get one for the berries, and I cut it out several times. I colored them all the same, but on one I did white berries with very tiny pearls, and on one I did green berries with some Nouveau Crystal drops. So I will link both of these dies in the description box in case you guys want to recreate what I did. And I already have some leaves that are I've already cut mine out, and I already put 3 together. So I'm going to share with you what they look like. Here are the 3 that I have done already. And I love the way the box. Yes, I love the box that my friend Jackie made. But look at how pretty these look. And I did add the mistletoe in the back, and you can see the little tiny pearls. And here is another one. So I only did one of the berries for each flower, one in the white and one in the green, and I snipped that apart and used one green and one with the pearls on the whole thing. But I love the way it looks. And there's the poinsettia. This does not have a die. It's just a poinsettia, but you do add veining to it. So as you can see the veining on there. It looks like maybe I stamped it, but I didn't. It's just the veining with the tools. Although I did have a mishap with my new tool set from her that I bought. My veining tool snapped. So I had to send it back because I've only had it about a week and a half. And I don't think things should break that quick. It's a $30 set. Anyway, but the way it looks like I stamped the veining on there, but I didn't. I did add some diamond glaze, but you can use any type of lacquer or glaze, and you can also use Mod Podge. The shiny one, and you can use glossy accents to shine up the winterberry leaf, because those are shiny like holly, like the holly leaves and berries. So I did shine those up, but look at the way they look. I think they are beautiful. They don't look so pretty in the back, but they don't look bad. And when you glue them to your project, let's say I was going to glue them to this box in the corner, you're not going to see the bottom. Look at how pretty it is. So I'm going to share with you how I put these together. I did want to do them like in a set of 4, but I think that 4 might be a little bit too much. I don't think they fit. So let me move these aside. And I already pre-cut mine out. And I have everything done. Now the colors that I use to color my green my greenery. This one is already completed. As you can see, it's shiny. But the color that I used, I'll set that one aside. And I'm going to show you how I colored this. The only colors that I used for my whole project was the Worn Lipstick by Tim Holtz, the Distress Oxide. That's the color I'm going to do the poinsettia. The Cracked Pistachio is the color I used for the mistletoe. So that was the color I used for that. And I also used it for the leaves on the poinsettia because I wanted a light colored leaf because my poinsettia is going to be light. And then I did use this new one that I picked up, the pine needles, for the winter berries. And I was looking for, I know he's got one that's called Christmas Tree Lot or something like that. And it's a new one and I couldn't find it, but I found that one, so I'm happy with that one. So I'm going to share with you, and we're going to get pretty messy here. So I'm going to ink these up really quick and share with you how I do that. And all I do is I get a little sponge, and these are some old ones that I had, and I just snipped off the color that was on there, and I was able to reuse it. So all I'm not even going to wet this first. I'm just going to just add my color. If you want it really light, then you only add a little bit. If you want it darker, you want to add more. But this goes on pretty quick. I don't do the back. You can if you want to, because you're not going to see the back. So there's one. Like, these are really easy to do. And I'm, like I said, I already have my leaves cut out and all that because so the video won't be so long. And I needed them to dry and everything. So I have mine done, but I will share with you how I do that. And then just set it aside, and when they dry, I'll put them away. So I have two options here. I can either do these pink with the way I did these, or I can do them green. I'm going to leave them and do them green because I do have some pink ones that I haven't used. So that's all I did with the pink. Now, I'm going to clean up my mess. Actually, I shouldn't have cleaned it up because I'm going to make another mess right now. So I'm going to move that aside. So all I do is get a little spray bottle and I spritz it, and you'll see the color start to run. And I move it because that's what I want it to do. I want it to run, and I want it to be really light. And I do all of them at the same time. Then I'm going to heat set them. And I like that they kind of look like a watercolor. I've really been liking watercolor lately, so that's all I do to them. I just spritz them with water, and if they're not running enough, I'll spritz them again until I see the little drip on there. And I am going to go ahead and grab my tweezers and dry these. Like, I have a petal over here that really doesn't have any color. I can just grab from this leaf, I can just kind of pass it over to that other leaf, and that's pretty much it. So I'm going to grab my heat gun, and this is going to be a little loud, so this can't be helped. And I'm just going to dry it. I normally don't do it above my glass. I'll do it off to the side, but I want you to see what I'm doing. And it dries pretty quick. It's not really nothing crazy. And it doesn't have to be crispy. Like, you don't really have to cook it, but you do want it dry. And normally I don't wet the back side, so I don't have any issues as far as it gluing down to the next petal layer because it is dry on the back. So there's one. So like I said, it's not very time consuming, but you do want to pick it up with some tweezers or something because you do not want to burn yourself. I'll wet the back on this one. They're so easy to put together, but they are kind of time consuming because you do add a lot of details. I know somebody in the comment asked or said that I could sell these flowers, but they're very time consuming. Like, I think I only created these 4 yesterday, and I worked for hours on them trying to, I guess coming up with the idea is what takes the longest, but this has so many little steps. So there's the next one, and one more to go, guys. We'll get this little itty bitty one and dry it up, and then you don't have to hear mine. I need a new heat gun. This one's nasty. It still works perfect, but Abby and I used to share it, my daughter, and she's a little bit messy when she crafts. So she's got resin on there. There's all kinds of junk on there. I'm a little bit more, I don't know, I don't like to get anything on my tools. I'm careful with my tools. So this looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. And let me clean up my work space. I always keep this little spray bottle full because I'm always wiping my hands, my inky fingers. I need to wash my rag. I washed it out, like hand washed it, but I really need to throw it in the washer. So here are my petals, and the only thing I did to them different was I have a set of markers, watercolor markers, and these are pretty pricey, guys. I'll list them, but they are expensive. Where's the top? They're by Spectrum Noir, and they are the sparkle, so they have glitter. It's a glitter brush pen, watercolor glitter pen. So I do have one set that my hubby gifted me, and I'm using this pink, like an antique pink. I like the way, see how it looks like it's watercolored and it's got the water spots. I like that. So I'm going to shake up my pen, and I'm only going to add a little bit, a few little lines here and there. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to do that right now. Well, I can. Then I'll go back and brush it and spread it, since I already started this one. So I'm just adding lines like that. But I think I am going to go ahead and vein it first. And you do need a water brush. I don't even know what you call these, but a water brush that can hold water in it, or just a little cup or saucer with water and a regular brush. So I told you guys that my set broke and I had to package the whole thing up to send it back. So I'm using a piece of chipboard to put lines in my flower. And I don't have a veining tool other than that one that broke, and I don't know why it broke, but I'm not even going to recommend that anymore. I did ask for a replacement, but you do have to be careful with those because the attachments, the little piece that slides into the main tool, are made of plastic. The metal tip doesn't go all the way. It's not covered in the plastic. In other words, it's just a little piece, and mine just snapped. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my pokey tool, and I'm going to make a line down the middle of my petals. Now there is another veining tool that I saw by Sizzix, I believe, that I think I'm going to try and get, because now I'm going to flip it to the back, because it looks like it's made a little bit better. So I'm going to try that. Okay. Actually, I'm not going to use this. I'm going to use my new, the golf flower shaping tools. So I'm going to use the biggest one. These are not very comfortable in your hands, but they're made of metal, so you're not going to break these. And I'm going to start adding the veins, so I don't go past the middle line when I'm doing my veining, and I'm just making lines at an angle. I'm not going straight across, I'm going up. And I'm going to do that. And you can start to see the veining. And just put it on a piece of chipboard and you should be okay. Like, I was really excited about my new tool set, and then it did that, and I was very disappointed. So there's one. Now you can see the veining in it now. So I'm going to do that to the big one and the smaller one. So I'm just going to hold my tool at an angle like this, because I don't want to tear my paper. Now this paper is watercolor paper, and it is the one that I hauled here in my last haul video, and it is 300 GSM, so it's pretty thick. It's by Master Touch Premium Watercolor Pad, and it is 300 GSM. So now I'm going to flip it to the back. I'm going to do the same thing. And usually what I do, guys, I do see how this petal kind of curves this way. Well, when I put my veining in, I kind of follow that line. I try to follow the line that the petal is going in. It's harder to do it with this tool, but it's doable. So now I'm going to turn it the other way, and I'm going to put in my little veins. And do as many as you want. Like, I do 3 or 4 usually. And you can see, I hope you can see what I'm doing. See, as soon as I do that, it leaves a mark. So it kind of looks like it was stamped, but it wasn't. Then when I add the watercolor to it, the pen, the glitter one, it kind of seeps into those veins and makes them look darker, more prominent. And I just want to share with you my process on how I do it. And this is pretty much how she does it, but she does use a different tool when she's shaping the tips than I do. I found it easier for me. Last one, guys. So you see all these little details that you put into every layer. That's why I don't sell my flowers, because I couldn't get very many done in one day because of all the details that I put into them. So it's more of a labor of love. Whenever I decide I want to do Happy Mail for somebody, that's when I spend the time in adding all these details and making them a set, because I know I can't reproduce these very fast. So there's that. So now I'm going to show you with my my water pen. I'm just going to squeeze it to let some of the water out, and I'm just going to brush it like to so the lines aren't so defined, kind of blending it. And look at how pretty it just blends. And some of it gets into the little creases and makes the veining a little bit more defined. But I love this color. It's more like a like an antique pink. And it does sparkle because it's got that glitter in it. So you do have to shake them up too when you go to use them. So that's what you want right there. It's so pretty. It's so easy to do, but it is, like I said, a lot of little details, and I just do 3 or 4 lines. It doesn't matter. It's up to you depending on how dark you want it. Of course, on the bigger petals, you're going to want more lines, and on the smaller ones, you don't need as many. And since I'm not doing the back, it doesn't take that long, but if you were going to make these to sell them, then this wouldn't be practical because it is a lot of little steps. But hey, if you have the patience and you want to, that is totally up to you. When I find that my ink isn't blending, I'll just squeeze out more water. And I don't have to re-dry these because, like, I'm not soaking these completely. You know, it's more on the top layer, so I don't have to reset them. I mean, I could if I wanted to, but it isn't necessary. One more, guys. This little beady one. And if you want the center of your flower darker, you can add some to the middle. So I'm done with these markers. I will list them in the description box. But like I said, I have to warn you, they were pricey. And I wouldn't have bought them except that hubby bought them and I didn't. But they're beautiful. I mean, you can see the sparkle in them. I love them. I've had them a little while. Now that I'm organizing my craft room, I'm trying to not use up, but use my things more frequently. There you go. So that's all there is to the poinsettia. Now we're going to shape it. So you're going to need some kind of foam pad to shape your flower petals. Now, she uses her tweezers, and let me grab mine. She uses her tweezers. Susan uses her tweezers to bend her flower petals. But to be quite honest, that line that we put in the middle, this is all I do. Just kind of push in with my thumb in the center and fold up on the sides because we already put in a score line. But if you wanted to, again, you would pick it up like this and you would fold it. I don't feel that it's necessary to use these except for on the little one. So I just use my fingers to do it and shape them like that. On this one, I will use it because they're so little. And I want to make sure I crease them down the middle. So on these, I will use my tweezers and just pinch them up. Okay, that's all I do to them. Now I'm going to flip them to the back. And I'm going to get my medium golf tool. But you can use a ball stylus. I'll share with you what I'm talking about. You can use one of these ball tools to do exact same thing that I'm doing. And actually, I'll use that. Let me go ahead and use that. That way you guys, because most of you have this tool. And all I'm going to do is I actually flatten out my leaf some. She pinches it right here and then starts doing this number. I don't, guys. I just do that. I'm smashing it or pressing it into the tip of the flower and I'm pulling back. And you can curl it as much as you want or as little as you want. So all I'm doing is pressing on the tip. You do have to apply some pressure and just sliding it back as if I were erasing. So you can go back and forth like an eraser and just on the tip. And you do the same on all the petals. And then you flip it around to the right side and kind of just, I don't even rub around the center. I just push in. So there's one. Here's two. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't color the green one so we could have it ready. So I am going to have to turn on my heat gun And I'm just doing the same thing, guys, applying pressure to the tip of the flower and pulling back. So if you don't have a proper shaping tools for making flowers, I would really suggest that you get one, because most of the times they have these rubber mats included, or these foam pads where that really help you when you're shaping a flower. Believe it or not, it's the same thing as with cake decorating. There is a foam pad that you use to shape your flowers. Of course, I wouldn't be as rough as I'm applying quite a bit of pressure, to be quite honest, with this paper. And that might be why my tool broke, but I just don't feel things should break after a week. And I didn't even use it every day. You know what I mean? I used it a couple of times. My puppy is barking.